I mean, a band used to have to get in the van. A stand-up comic used to have to get in the van. And you would go from hole in the wall to hole in the wall to hole in the wall, right? Trying to make a living.
Right.
And the fact that people can do this now, like this is the hole in the wall. The difference being is that over the course of any given, time or day,
Right.
you could hit 300, 400, 500, 1,000, 2,000 people from quote unquote playing a hole in the wall.
Sure.
What if nobody showed up to vote? Nobody gave a damn, left home and left work that
Right?
day.
And that's where we're at now. Well, before you were stuck with the
Hey,
10 people that showed up, and they showed up probably because
Right.
that was just their bar.
Mm-hmm.
And you, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Right. And
They're the workers.
Right. Well, yeah, they're working there. But you hoped that those 10 people who heard you maybe told somebody else, and then when you came back into town, maybe there was 20 people or 30 people.
Right.
Right. So you think of all that time, well, respectfully, but I say wasted, driving from gig to gig, venue to venue, right, to try to play for 10 people. It's Henry Rollins, it's Get in the Van, it's Black Flag, it's every great band. And then, of course, then you had 18 hours, 23 and a half hours
Right.
in between the next gig. And what you can do now on platforms is the equivalent of that and say, well, I'll play the quote-unquote hole in the wall. How about I do it every hour a day? How about I do it every other hour?
Right.
I mean, that just changes the game.
Absolutely. And now you can take this content, you can cut it up, and you can put it anywhere you want to.
Right. Yes. So you've got your DLive presentation here. If I'm managing you and I'm if you hired me, I'm saying, okay, then we're going to take every single thing you do here. This is your DLive, but we're also recording it, and we're going to drop sound bites, 2-3 a day on Instagram all day long, 30-second sound bites, 2-3 a day, boom. Then we're going to put a Facebook post on the things that we know aren't going to get banned. We'll put those things up. I'll take the audio from this, I'll put that onto a podcast. Right, I'll hit Spotify, I'll hit iTunes, and I'll hit SoundCloud.
Sure.
Right, so one piece of content here, boom, drop, and now you've hit every single platform.
Right. Who are you and what are you doing in my office?
I am.
And who's this?
This is my son, Austin. You can come real quick and just pop in here because this is my 8-year-old son.
There he is.
Almost 9.
Woo!
Love this kid, but he's going to take over the whole business, and so
there you go.
When I work and I travel, he's learning everything. He learns how to talk to people, communicate. He learns how sometimes people don't pay you, how to get money. Sometimes you got to send people into breaks and knees, and I send this guy in, and
that's right.
Or just the cute smile gets the money.
He came to the door, and you said, "This is Knox," and he said, "Hi there, how are you? I'm Knox."
Yeah, well, he's got to learn to be a little man, and I see adults that can't do that.
I know.
I see you're good. Thanks, man. And what was the question? How did I get here?
And who are you?
Who are you? My name is Darren Doane, and I'm a filmmaker by trade. Kind of the best way to say it. I'm a filmmaker by trade. I thought I was going to draw comic books in high school, and my senior year, no one hired me. Got my rejection letters, and there wasn't that many independent companies back then.
Sure.
But Marvel, DC, and there was a few others that were kind of floating around. But I realized pretty quickly, okay, well, this isn't going to work, and I wasn't never going to go to college. No one in my family went to college, and I didn't even take the SATs. It wasn't on my cultural radar, I was at a big school. I was in a 3,000 person school or something. It was a nice school.
In California.
Yeah, I mean, so it was, CIF school, which I think, that's the highest on sports. I mean, so it wasn't like it was some weird podunk town.
Sure.
Like, I just wasn't going to college. And I always loved music. I didn't play any instruments. All my friends were in bands. And so I just said, well, I'm going to start making music videos. I was a music video fanatic and freak. And I just loved music and I thought that would be the best way to kind of be around that energy. I just picked up a video camera. I mean, I had a video camera, but then I got serious. And then the day after high school graduation, I said, I'm going to form, which is just because you say it, but I'm now a film production company.
Right.
Which just means a lot of weddings and bar mitzvahs. And that's what you did.
Yeah.
And that's what you did. And then I drove down to Hollywood, which is about a half hour away, and I tried to convince anybody to hire me. I said, I'll pay for it. I'll do everything. Just give me a chance to shoot your music video. Yeah. And finally a couple bands did. And
thanks, Obama.
I've been doing that for almost 30 years now. That's it. And then of course you grow into being a businessman and production company and creative agency. All those things kind of come along with it. But ultimately I brand, I just try to take things and or take products or people and just communicate who and what they are to everybody else. That's it.
And you've been doing that for almost 30 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
And, it's been a crazy run. It's been a crazy run working with, some of the best the heaviest bands in the world. I mean, bands like the Deftones, which are just, it's probably one of my all-time favorite bands. And to make a music video, I did a video with them called Hexagram. Be able to work with the Deftones, one of my favorite bands in the whole world. They're into country, the Zach Brown Band, singer-songwriter Jason Mraz, rock, Shinedown. I mean, you name it. Adult contemporary, Christian, metalcore, death metal. Behemoth. I mean,
guys that don't use stripper poles anymore.
No, exactly. Kid Rock, yes, and there's Kid Rock, Uncle Cracker, and so I've worked with everybody, but in doing that, I got to work with people who I really kind of related to on an artist level. But I got to see how these guys grew businesses. How did they grow business? How did they do it? And I was just always watching,
just observing the moves.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and so I mean, what are some of your favorite experiences? I mean, because now I know you've been doing a lot of music videos and things like that, and then you were doing films, documentaries, and things like that. What was kind of the one that stuck? Do you have a favorite part, or do you just enjoy the grind?
I just enjoy the grind. Yeah. I mean, actually, when I get on the set, I'm not miserable.
No.
But that's where I kind of work. That's where I have to because I'm actually not an extrovert. I don't think. I don't know how people define that. So
Thanks, Obama.
I'm not that comfortable being around a ton of people, leading and telling people what to do and do it. Like, I do it for a living.
Sure.
I know how to do it. It's not my sweet spot. I don't fake my way through it because I actually do it. I like the grind. I like the hustle. I like putting ideas together. When it's all done, I like editing, figuring out what are the trailers going to look like. I mean, I probably should have been an editor.
Yeah.
Like, I probably should have just been an editor
instead of actually having a camera in your hand.
Yes.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, but it didn't exist. I mean, I cut film. I did editing, tape to tape. I edited all my own stuff. I'm probably just a really, really, really good editor, and I'm probably a mediocre filmmaker.
Is that because you use your phone or what?
Well, no. Some people love being on the set.
Yeah.
And they love the energy.
Sure.
They love talking with actors and this and that, and there's this, I've never liked it.
Yeah.
I've never liked that part of it, but I've always, for whatever reason, had enough sense to realize that, well, not everyone loves every part of their job.
Right.
Right. I mean, there's different parts of it.
You're more interested in kind of the narrative than you are in the actual.
Yeah, I love the process. I love building it, putting it together, figuring out how to pull it off. I should have probably just been a producer.
Sure.
But there was no independent film industry in the year 1990.
Mm-hmm.
There was like, I'll just go to school and be an editor. Like, it just didn't exist.
Yeah.
So I had to do it all. And people think that the director, like, that's what I want to do. I just want to be the director.
Right.
Careful what you wish for. I mean, it's
right.
That's just upper high level management.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's like managing a bar.
And you're still not even all the way at the top when you're the director.
Oh yes, you're still not.
You just get your name on it.
Right. And thankfully, I've never put myself in that situation.
Right.
So as a producer and a director and an editor, I get to control my own destiny.
Sure.
In that sense, but that just means I have a lot of regret because I have no one to blame.
Right.
All my bad decisions, all my failures have been on me. I can't go, I was just the director and the studio made me do that. No, I've been able to have creative control over everything that I've ever done.
Right.
Which means all my failures are mine.
Right.
They're mine.
Yeah. And that's the kind of responsibility I don't think most people really really want.
I don't think so. I mean, it
gets pretty weighty.
It breaks people.
Yeah.
I mean, I bring people in all the time to see if they want to intern, and I don't really have a process, so they just learn everything right away and they start doing it, and they have to create stuff and they're handling things, and people break within a week to 30 days. I mean, when you actually get responsibility,
right,
again, and I don't have time to incubate people for a year.
Sure.
If someone comes and wants to work at my company, we got to get to work. You got to be. I'm not trying to. You're not getting me coffee.
Right.
I need you to work. I'll teach you how to edit. I'll teach you how to edit in 2 days. I'll teach you how to shoot and edit in literally 1 week. You'll be making things, and it'll be good, and it'll be better than anyone coming out of film school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I can do that with people, but I'm still learning what my process is because it's kind of like giving someone a
Well, I mean, you're just
AR-15 on day one, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're just giving people a wheel, essentially. I mean,
yeah.
You say, okay, here's, put it in drive, take the parking brake off and hit the gas.
Yeah.
But
culturally, you realize.
But you aren't micromanaging those steps.
No.
You're not micromanaging that. Hey, don't forget.
No.
Put it in drive first.
Yeah, no.
Right.
And it trips people out. It's weird when people actually finally get responsibility. I'm really anti-college, but I definitely get it in one sense.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if in those 4 years people are really ready, to really be good at anything. I just hate the fact that people are going into debt over those 4 years.
Right.
So are coming out with a degree that's not worth it. But I do think that 18 to 22, if you can develop a particular skill set or a grind or a work ethic, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I bring my son with me. That's why we hang out and he comes on projects with me in the summertime. He's able to do that because he's actually learning that grind. I have an 8-year-old son who's going to sit here for an hour and be respectful. He's going to listen to things. He's going to hear it. He's going to remind me of things that I said.
Right.
I mean, I don't know a lot of 8-year-old boys that can do that.
Yeah.
Right. So.
No, I hear you. I mean, that's definitely it's showing, and it's not. I mean, because you think about college and things like that when they start asking you to do these gen eds and everything else that aren't necessarily part of your, sphere, I guess.
Right.
And so now you're bringing in all this nonsense, but why not just show people how to do the job that they're, trade school and things like that. I mean, I think that's why people are going that direction.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes. And in the film industry, you've got to be really careful because everybody wants to make that one perfect project. And I've had way more failures and way more things mocked and things made fun of and and lost a ton of money than I've had success. Sure. But that's just part of it. I mean, it's it really is baseball. Like if you can bat 300 in baseball, like, if you can strike out 7 times, and I probably strike out 7-8 times, but every 10 times I try to do something. But you know what? I mean that's the thing is you just keep failing. Right. I mean, I just kind of like that. I think I had a brother who's 7 years older than me, so I took a beating pretty early on in life, and I was pretty big for my age, tall. He'd take me to parties and fights would break out, and I learned to get beat up. I don't think a lot of people really have the experience of getting beat up, like the actual fear and the insanity of when someone's on top of you, like trying to break your face, like they want to break your face. Or there's 2 or 3 dudes wanting to break your face, and I grew up with that. Not that I'm a tough guy. That's the scenarios that. Sure. So by the time I started making movies, by the time the internet shows up, by the time Twitter shows up, and I'm trying funny things that I think are funny, or I do a movie like Saving Christmas with Kirk Cameron that I just think is just a funny. Right. Like I wanted to make a really funny, dumb movie that I really thought was funny and dumb, and the internet shows up. That would have crushed most people, and I was like, "Oh, this is hilarious!" Like,
right. And then what happened?
Well, yeah. And then that was actually what's great is again you have to be in the game. I was as cool and quote unquote credible as you could be with all the people that I'd worked with. Sure. When I met Kirk Cameron, I wanted to work with Kirk. I love that I'm a Christian. I like working on stuff I thought my whole family could watch. Only dirtbags want to show their kids porn. It's like I wanted to make really fun stuff that my family could watch and that my kids could watch. You know what I mean? And so, that's what I wanted to do. And so I'll go and make fun stuff, And doing that, all of a sudden the internet shows up. And it was such a crazy story because we released Saving Christmas, and it's in theaters, and it's doing great. And the reviews hit, and we have like a 98. And people are smart enough now that they can go and get this information. Sure. It was like a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is insane. Yeah. Right? And then I'm like, wow, this is so cool. I didn't even think about Rotten Tomatoes. And me and Kirk, it's the weekend. The movie's kind of doing great. And I'm like, dude, you should go on Facebook, Kirk, and be like, hey, thanks so much for the Rotten Tomatoes 98. If you enjoy the movie, we appreciate it. Go, right? And someone picks it up on Reddit.
Yep.
I was like, what's Reddit? And someone picks up on a thread on Reddit and says, hey, we got to make sure this becomes the lowest rated film in the history of movies, right?
Yeah.
And someone tips me off like, hey, there's a Reddit thread with you in it. And I was like, what is Reddit? What are you guys talking about? And Kirk's got like 1 million people on his Facebook. I'm like, what are a bunch of, idiots on this thing called Reddit going to be able to do?
Right.
Dude, and they brought it. I mean, they brought 50,000 people.
Yeah.
And they brought it down to like a 1% or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Right.
And everyone else is freaking out. The studio was freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Kirk, don't talk, And I'm sitting there going like, oh, like, this is so powerful. Like,
well, I mean, you think about The Room. Like, what's the guy's name?
Yeah.
I can't remember him right now.
And that's what people were saying, two things I didn't know about. They're all, this is like The Room meets Fireproof.
Yeah.
Like, people were, I was like, what's the reference to The Room? And I'm learning now as a filmmaker, and I'm doing, and for me, I just think it's funny to make a funny film.
Absolutely.
I'm like, my sort of, I thought, well, like, look, if the quote unquote secular world that is so cool can make Hot Tub Time Machine, and people take it seriously.
Right.
Like, I'm like, I can make a dumb, funny movie that I think is hilarious called Saving Christmas with Kirk Cameron. Like, that's what I'm going to do. And everyone's like, ooh, like dumb Christian film stuff. I was like, have you seen John Waters films? Have you seen Hot Tub Time Machine? And 2, they made a part 2 to Hot Tub Time Machine.
Right.
It's like, so if I'm going to be an idiot and just have fun, it's going to be on my terms.
Right.
But that moment, I was like, this is cool. Like, they just tanked my movie. Well played.
Right.
This is the future.
But now the funnier part is, everybody goes, if you ask somebody if they've heard of Saving Christmas, they go, oh, that movie was terrible,
right,
whatever.
Right.
But it's like, you know what it is though, huh?
Right.
Like, you know what it is.
Right.
And have you actually seen it? It's like, well, no, but you saw it on the internet, right?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and I imagine, well, I mean, what happened with Sony?
Sony was on that year. I don't know. I forget by what happened.
Wasn't that Sony?
That was Sony. Yeah. They got hacked. They got hacked that year too.
Well, but that was also their highest grossing film of the year.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah. I mean, it did. Yeah,
it doubled their.
Yeah, it did millions or something. I mean, I think it did like 3 million. Ultimately, it did, I think, 7 million. Yeah, again, I'm an independent filmmaker. Like, you have to understand, like, once things get a theatrical release, and you get a platform or the world gets to see it, it's kind of funny because everyone's got their bros and we all have our inside jokes, things we think are funny, but we would never take them on the road. Right? But as a filmmaker, sometimes you take it on the road. Like, you think it's funny.
Absolutely.
And you and your friends are laughing on the set or in the car, right? And then you show it to your mom and your mom's like, I don't understand what's so funny. And you're like, don't you get it? And so, but that's part of being an artist, making things. Again, I will trade, I wouldn't trade that experience for anything because it was also wonderfully humbling too. It's like, I've never tried to cash in my sort of cred points with all the quote unquote really credible people. Sure. I mean, from a branding standpoint, I articulate that. But I work with everybody and anybody, and I make a living. I make a living. And so the fact that something I did, actually had like major cultural criticism, I was like, this is amazing. I remember I was driving and someone texted me, and it was just a link.
Sure. And
I hit the link, and I was nominated for a Razzie Award, like worst movie, whatever, or worst director or something, right? And then, but it's my name. There's the list, and it was like Darren Doane, Michael Bay. I was like, wait. Did I just make a list? Yeah. With Michael Bay? I was like, I'm done. I win.
Right.
Like, I win.
Exactly.
Like. This, I mean, it was awesome. But again, it comes back to, can you take a beating?
Right. Well, I mean,
can you take a beating? Of course I can take a beating.
And one of the things you've been saying a lot lately is don't let your content be precious.
Right.
And so I mean, like, which who's gonna help me here? Is it gonna be the people that just want to hate me and make me try and make me feel bad, or something like that actually ends up boosting everything, because now everybody goes, well, the culture just hates him, so now I'm going to take my butt to the movie theater. Yes. I mean, it helps you more than anything else. So,
but again, I just saw it as like, I didn't know there was going to be a fight. And if you walk in somewhere and you get jumped, it sucks. Like, I mean, no one really wants to have people tell you that your movie sucks.
Sure.
Like, no one wants that.
Right.
Like, oh, well, it happens, But so it's like you walk in a room, you get jumped. Okay, you walk back in that room like you're an idiot. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll never walk back in that room again like that again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll never do that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But it was still kind of like, I thought it was punk rock and cool that a bunch of people got together and they hated Kirk so much, or they hated me so much, or they hated Christianity so much, or a particular worldview so much, that they went and they owned it. Because the thing that also hit me at that moment was... And I think this is key, at least as far as how I think. If it was that easy to take down, if people on Reddit could get together, I immediately knew that Rotten Tomatoes was done.
Right.
There was no value.
Yeah.
I said within 5 years, reviews won't matter. Mm-hmm. Reviews will not matter at all. And today, no one cares about Rotten Tomato. Nobody cares about Yelp. Nobody cares. Mm-hmm. If you can get there that easy and affect people, that's done. It's a worthless platform.
Right.
It's absolutely worthless.
Well, yeah, and
it's like Trump. It's like Trump shows up.
Right.
Trump shows up, and what he ended up doing was he brought everybody to the table as far as yelling at him.
Right.
And now it doesn't matter if you get yelled at.
No.
It doesn't matter. Someone can call you a racist, someone can call you sexist.
It means nothing.
Someone can call you, you're a full-on homophobe, this, that, blah, 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 that. Like, if you scroll someone's name now and you find out that they were called a racist or there was an article written, you wouldn't even care because you've probably had something written about you. So everyone now knows that you can't really believe anything anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't even believe people went to the moon anymore. Like, that's how far we've gotten with people not believing anything. People do not believe the Earth is round. Right, so that's where we're at now. So if people don't believe the Earth is round and we never went to the moon, why are they going to believe if someone writes a thing on me and says Darren hates vegans?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone believes anything anymore.
That's a T-shirt. People are asking where they can find your movies.
I have no idea where to find my movies. It would depend. I think now between, I don't know, I would need to know where. Okay, so let's see, Collision, that you can find. People have put it on YouTube illegally. More power to them. Right. So Collision's on YouTube.
Let's talk about that after you get done.
Great, yeah. So that's their Free Speech Apocalypse, which was kind of my follow-up to Collision, is on Amazon Prime. Keep and Bear, my gun documentary. I was scared to death of guns. I was always pro-gun. I never had a gun. Made a documentary about my process coming into the sort of world of owning a gun. That's on Amazon Prime as well. Most stuff's on Amazon Prime. I mean, I think that's probably where I would drive people mostly to.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So you said people are taking your movies and posting them on YouTube. More power to them.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
why?
Well, the film industry, distributors, they're all snakes. They're all thieves.
Right.
So usually you do a deal for distribution because you just want to be able. Yeah, buddy.
Can I go to the restroom?
You got it, buddy.
Yeah, straight across the hall.
You'll find it, bud.
Yep.
You just want so badly to tell people that someone picked up your movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's being distributed by so-and-so.
Sure.
Right? It allows you to look cool with your friends. You have social status. Mm-hmm. You're not a loser.
Right.
And so you'll do any deal with any quote-unquote distributor.
Right.
And then you do that deal. They never give you any money up front. They say, oh, we'll give you this percentage back-end royalties, and then you're done. You will never see a royalty.
Right.
Ever again. There's a great tweet by the guy that wrote Men in Black that I just posted. Guy that wrote the original Men in Black. Mm-hmm. And he tweeted, great to see like Men in Black 4 is coming out, even though I've never seen a royalty from the first one,
Huh?
He goes, this just confirms my suspicion that Hollywood's always been in it for the art.
Right. Yeah.
So they're on number 4, Men in Black, and the writer has never gotten a profit piece in his contract.
Sure.
So if you're going to get ripped off at the Men in Black level, if you're going to get ripped off at the Peter Jackson level, if you're going to get ripped off at the James Cameron, all these guys had to take the studio to court because they said, we haven't made any money.
Right.
You think doing a deal with some indie distributor? So in one sense, I think it's great. It's like, well, I got ripped off. I've been ripped off. I love that people then take that and rip it off. Because again, I'm just trying to be informed. I'm not trying to appeal just yet to any kind of standard on how we treat intellectual properties, quote unquote.
Sure.
I just don't think you can own anything. In this day and age,
sure.
There's people, and this is probably DLive, there's probably people here watching who are way more knowledgeable on this. I don't think you're going to be able to own anything in the future.
Right.
I do not believe you're going to be able to own music, images, film, product, content. Unless it's physical and you're selling it, I do not believe we're going to be able to have the ability to pursue intellectual ownership of anything.
Right.
I just do not believe it's going to be able to happen.
Well,
so I'm already thinking about that. And so where everyone around me right now is still thinking about content and making stuff and trying to make a deal with Netflix. Dude, I'm so much farther ahead.
Right.
That doesn't mean I'm going to be right, but I just mean ahead from a trajectory standpoint of saying, okay, how am I going to make a living as an artist, as a content creator, as a brand manager, as a media consultant, as a human being consultant in a world where you are not going to be able to own anything.
Yeah.
That's where my head is at. That's why it was great to come here today, because to me, this is where we are at.
Yeah.
So
right. I mean, and yeah, like you said earlier, this is an everyday kind of thing now. It's not just a, I didn't have to talk to anybody before I did this. I didn't have to ask permission.
I do know Collision is unavailable. Collision, if you just type in Collision, VHX, Collision, if you're searching Collision and then VHX, I do have it up on a place. I think I put up like $1 to rent. Mm-hmm. Like I think it's up for like $1 somewhere because I just want it to be available.
Right.
You know. But I know it is on YouTube in chunks. Oh no, Collision. Go to my. No, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. So I just started a post-mill Facebook page. So post-mill, Facebook page, and I took Collision. I'm taking all my stuff and I'm putting, and it's up there. So if you go to post-mill, the Facebook page, the Collision, the entire documentary is up there, and I have a new series which documents the making of Collision, which is up there as well. So
we'll post links in here in a little bit.
Awesome.
So that way people can just find it. At least someone is paying attention to chat. Hey, we're gonna get to it. What are we looking at here anyway? We still got half an hour to go.
Yeah. Did somebody ask if I have black friends?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nope.
That's the answer. No. I have a lot. I don't see color.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I tend to equally hate everybody.
Right.
And so, in that sense.
It makes things a lot easier. Mm-hmm. It certainly makes things easier. I'm surprised, Darkus isn't in here right now. Darkus Pittman.
Oh, yeah.
He comes by every now and then. Earlier, actually,
what does that mean? Can you articulate that for me?
At least someone is paying attention to chat?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't. I've just been talking to you.
Right, chat.
So, yeah, so these guys,
okay.
Paying attention to these guys, they're starting to feel bad.
Okay. I mean, should we jump in?
Oh, we can, absolutely. They cool. Started, this is kind of funny.
Have you been seeing stuff?
Somebody said, I look over every now and then. Does anyone know what this guy's name is?
Right.
And then Harvey told him, and then this guy said, oh, wow, this dude has done some work in his career. And then they said, how did Austin land this guy?
He actually has a Wikipedia page.
Yeah. Isn't that hilarious? Yeah.
What was that back? What was that?
Oh, which one?
Go back.
The Zach Brown one?
Yeah, what do you say? The Zach what? This is
dun. It might be a little higher. He crosses genres, does Zach Brown.
Got it.
Yeah. Jason
Cool.
Mraz.
I love it. Everyone's kind of doing the work for you. Yeah, Wikipedia was the first thing someone one day said, hey, you have a Wikipedia page.
Right.
And I said, oh, okay. And they said, how'd you get a Wikipedia page? I said, well, I don't know. Can anyone have a Wikipedia page? They're all, no. I was like, well, then how did I get a Wikipedia page?
Right.
And they're all, because you're somebody. I'm like, how can I be somebody? Like, I didn't make it.
Ask for this.
I didn't ask for it. I didn't make it.
Right.
Then I went on there and it was still kind of like all wrong.
Right.
You know, and then I was like, well, how do I change it? And I couldn't figure out how to change it.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't change. Like, I was like, how did someone start a Wikipedia page for me? And I can't even change it to have the stuff that's true.
Right.
It's just really weird.
Yeah.
Really weird.
You know, I remember the first time I actually went through your Wikipedia page was probably about a year ago, and I realized that you did the music video for Supertone Strike Back.
I did. Yeah, I did 7 or 8 Supertones music videos.
I listened.
Supertone Strike Back.
Yes. I listened to that song every single day when I was 7 years old.
7?
Yes. I was 7.
Yeah, those
how old are you?
Awesome.
You're 40.
I'm 47.
47? Okay, so yeah, you're my dad's age.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
40 years older.
I know. Isn't that
But look
wild?
at this. But look at where the equality, as far as the ability to do things, hits with a 47-year-old,
Right.
right? And however old you are.
Right.
You know, 7. You're 7 years old.
Yeah,
right now?
I'm 7 years old now.
But like, it's amazing that all that can
Right.
come to, you know, like, again, and that's where I'm like, once I heard what you were doing, someone asked like, wait, how did they get Darren Doane in the room or something? It's like, well, I'm in the room because
With no AC.
right,
Mind you.
because I've made a living wanting to know, again, like I said earlier, what's the underground? What's the subculture?
Right.
Who are the artists to be looking out for?
Right.
Who's going to be shaping the culture? And I've shifted completely where, in one sense, I kind of have my ear to the ground a little bit, but not really. You are the type of people that now this is, to me, you're like a punk band that someone says, you have to go check out this band. You walk in the club, you're not looking to see how many people they're pulling. You're looking to see what they're doing and how they're doing it. And so me going on the road with a band and seeing how they sell merch or how they were doing screen prints back in the day, how they were selling stickers, how they did their money, how they made sure they got their money from the promoter, all that stuff.
Yep.
Now I'm watching guys like you. This is what I'm watching. Right?
And now
because
you're getting,
this is the new punk rock.
Now I'm getting other people to. I design a T-shirt. I send it to somebody else. Right. And then then I put it on my website.
Right.
And anybody can just buy a T-shirt and it goes straight to them.
And you never touch it.
I never even look at it.
You never touch it.
Right.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean everything is so easily accessible now.
Yep.
And that kind of goes back to your point of nobody's going to be able to own anything anymore because how do you? You know,
you
like
can't.
like Netflix just announced that they're going to be deleting a scene from that movie or that TV show. What's it called? The
the theater you're talking about.
yeah. Hang on, I've got it. I think it's like 13.
I just was watching.
Is it 13 Reasons Why? Is that what it's called? I can't remember what it's called. It's the. Here we go. I got it right here.
We just started
13 Reasons Why. They're removing a really hard to watch scene of a person taking their own life.
Okay.
And so a lot of people complained about it about 2 years ago, and now
now
Netflix is finally taking that scene out.
Right.
And so now I found this out earlier from one of my viewers that they are trying to get rid of all of the even clips of it on YouTube and everything else just to completely get rid of that scene. They want the whole thing gone.
Right. Which I love.
But it's a fruitless effort.
Right, but I love that. Like to me that's you can't be punk rock and say you want to have the ability to do whatever you want.
Right.
And then say but you can't censor.
Right.
Like kidding me? I'll censor whatever I want. I mean, we have a system called VidAngel.
Sure.
We watch movies on VidAngel with my kids. There's a lot of movies that I want to watch with my kids where I love the plot, the story, the action, everything.
Right.
But you know what? I don't want the sex scenes. I don't need the language. I don't need like part of being punk rock is like, no, I'm going to steal your movie and edit it however I want. You can't have it just one way.
Right.
The prudes get to censor as well. The prudes get to steal just as much. Right? That's how this and so that's how this game works.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. You can't own anything. You know, forget your intellectual property. I'm going to watch it however I want with my kids. I may just put a whole new soundtrack to it because I don't like I mean like that to me is like again, we cannot own anything anymore.
Right. Yeah, I mean and it's going to be a fruitless effort for Netflix to get rid of that scene on everything. Because if somebody has it on a hard drive, if somebody has it in some kind of a digital storage, anything.
Right. Well, and again, I
they
love
bought the DVD,
and I love and what's
clap.
and I love the idea that now
Please
Netflix
clap.
is trying to do that again. Netflix got rid of the reviews.
right?
That was the first step when I realized that my sort of prediction on Rotten Tomatoes, like, oh, they got, because I think it was the comedian, I forget her name.
Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer, right?
Yeah.
She didn't, they had mean statements on her.
Mm-hmm.
The story was the alt-right went after her, right?
Yeah, right.
And it was like, and it's like, oh, we have to get rid of criticism. You can't have participation trophies in a world and think that reviews are going to last much longer. And so it's like, of course that's all going to go away,
right?
And the reason and what I'm watching now, and again, I'm fascinated by it. What I'm watching now which is why I got back into social media, revamped my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, not doing much there, but I'm getting there, is because what's happening now is everyone says, oh, everyone's got their own echo chamber. They're not echo chambers. What we're doing is we're building our own communities to say, okay, if I'm interested in something in regards to Bitcoin or libertarianism, I'm going to Austin. So Austin's in my feed, okay? If I want to know what's going on in the pro-life movement, I'm going to Marcus, okay?
Right.
If I want to know what's going on in church stuff, okay, I'm going to Toby Sumter.
Right.
And then I've got my friends all over here who I know are...
Sure.
So it's not an echo chamber. What we're doing is we're saying, this is how I'm going to aggregate the information I'm interested in. And I don't care about some lame LA Times film critic.
Right.
I want to hear what Marcus says about Toy Story 4. I want to hear what my friend Jimmy says about this. I want to hear what my friend says this on Cars. I want to
Right.
There's no more JD Power and Associates to give us some award for what's now we have our own people we trust.
Right.
And that is what is exciting, and that gets rid of forget Rotten Tomatoes, forget even just the moviegoer reviews. So forget the critics.
Right.
I'm not even care about that anymore. I care about what my 5 closest people to me think about that. I don't know if people fully understand what is happening.
Everything's becoming decentralized.
I mean, but I don't think people really understand. No. And I have people sit in front of me with their phone and say the world's not all about what's on your phone.
Right.
And they're holding their phone.
Right.
While they're telling you that the phone doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, social media is dying.
But I got this
No one's on Facebook anymore.
I got the article telling me that from social media.
I mean, it's so looking at those cultural behaviors right now, I mean, we are the metric. You just have to look at yourself and be honest for a moment and be objective. Like, what are we doing? How am I consuming things? And then based on that, if you're in business like I am, then I figure out how to get into that lane. If I stay in this other lane thinking that I'm going to get a distribution deal with a studio, they're going to green light something, and then we're going to send it to film critics all over the country, or maybe try to get into film festivals. I mean, film festivals? Like, really?
Right.
People are still begging to get into film festivals and have a little jury give you laurels. I mean, laurels are almost like Rotten Tomato reviews now. Like, who cares? Everyone found some crappy little film festival with laurels.
And made that their tomato.
Yeah, look, I've got the laurels.
Right, exactly.
I've got laurels.
Exactly.
I was at the Palm Beach, South Bay, 14 and under, went to public school, really loved G.I. Joe Film Festival.
Right. It's really specific, man.
Yeah, like, you have to look and you're like, what is that?
Right.
But people want that. Like, people want to, take a picture in front of step and release, whatever we call that thing, with the thing behind it, and you're on a red carpet.
Yeah.
You're like, people want that. They want to say that they got, it's a dying. There's a whole culture dying at this moment, and I'm amazed at people who are just holding on, like writing this thing down.
Right.
And, and dudes like you are in a room saying, well, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to find people. I'm going to find an audience. And then people want to criticize that, like, oh, well, what's Austin making? No one said that to me, but I'm just assuming.
I get it.
What's Austin making? What's the money? Can you do this for a career? And we've talked about this, which is why I wanted to come on the show. it might not be DLive. It might be the next thing that comes after DLive. And if you didn't know how to work DLive, you will not know how to work that next thing that's coming.
Yep.
And so to me, the information of what's going on here and people and how they interact, that's what's really, really, really interesting to me.
Right.
I'm still looking at chat. Whoever said it, we're not looking at chat. I'm gonna look at chat.
we're in on it now. Nigel said that he's donating a lemon every time you say like. You're gonna laugh harder. You're gonna laugh harder when I tell you.
So I would prefer you switch that to and not like.
Yeah, like is an important word.
Clap.
Yeah. Because I say
it's transition.
By the way, that's part of getting up and doing something like this. When you put yourself out and you do something, you immediately see, first of all, like, wow, I say like all the time. I say all the time. Like you say it, it's crazy, right? And you could be insecure and be like, man, I need to really work on that and figure out my public speaking. And I better make sure that I don't do that. And then someone jumps and says, hey, I'm gonna, if you can't have fun with that, like you have to be able to have fun with that.
Yeah.
And be like, that's how I talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's a lemon, by the way?
A lemon is 1.2 cents.
Please clap.
Yeah. So we have lemons, ice creams, diamonds, ninjaginis, and ninjets.
Please clap.
Okay, what's the biggest?
So the ninjet is the biggest. That's $100.
That's $100.
Technically, it's $120.
Wow.
Please clap.
Okay.
So Brookster's a partner on here, and he said, "I'm donating every time Austin says right." so you were talking. I went, so what would this guy do if he? Okay, so yeah, this is a good question. What would you do if you were starting out today?
I would still do what I did when I first started, which was make as many projects for free as possible, with the exception that, let's say it's right now, and Darren Doane starts over right now. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find a donut store in town that doesn't have any social media.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk into that donut store and say, hey, I want to build your Instagram account.
Sure.
First thing, we'll do the other, but right now, I want to build up your Instagram account.
Yeah.
And I would spend a week. I would take pictures, videos, interview people. I would post. I would design. I'd do the copy text. At the end of that week, I would now have a portfolio. I would now have a brand that I built from the ground up.
Right.
That's what I would do. And I'd move on to the next restaurant, and the next restaurant, and the juice shop, and the tire shop. I mean, people do not have a social media presence in local economies.
Right.
And they're throwing away money with the Chamber of Commerce and other things and newspapers and lame things that no one looks at.
Right.
And so I would walk into every single business. I'd take it 1 week at a time. And I would just build a brand. And I would walk in the next place and say, hey, I just got done doing a brand build for, Stan's Donuts. Yep. Here's what I did. Would you be interested in this? Maybe parlay that first one, the next one, say, hey, it's a week. Charge you $1,000.
Sure.
And you're gonna be up and running.
Absolutely, you're gonna be set. So he's saying, so you would work as a marketing agency, and I'm noticing what you're saying. So we've
not
talked.
A filmmaker.
We've talked, but I know the direction that you're going, and essentially by starting out as a marketing agency, doing stuff for other people, that enables you to.
That's the value. It enables you to not be pigeonholed as a filmmaker. The filmmaker is cheap. The camera guy is cheap. Everyone's got a camera. Everyone's got a drone. There's nothing valuable anymore. The value, the value times 10 is, are you the kind of person that can walk in somewhere, have an idea, execute it, deliver it, done, move on. That person is worth so much money.
Right. So you go from there, and now how do you brand yourself from there?
You have your own page in the meantime, and you tell your story. Say, hey, I'm Darren Doane. I'm 19 years old. I'm starting out. This is my creative agency. I'm going to be documenting my process. My first client is Stan's Donuts. I walked in there. I sold myself. I'm doing it for free. I'm going to be documenting the behind-the-scenes process of how I'm building my agency.
Right, and so then at that point, your content doesn't even have to be good. yours.
No.
The Darren Doane stuff
There's
doesn't even have to be good.
There's no such thing as good content.
Right, of course.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You don't get to judge what is good content.
It's true.
The audience gets to judge what is good content.
It's true.
I don't get to judge what's a good camera. I don't get to judge what's a good mic. The audience is the only one that gets to decide what is quality, professional, or good content.
So what I'm really getting at is you don't even have to put as much work into your own content at that point because you get to show off all of the work you're doing over here.
I think it's equal because
or do you? I mean, do you put that same work in on both sides?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do?
Right.
Watch trailers on Netflix?
Right.
I mean, what are you gonna do in life?
Right.
Work your butt off.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy. There's so much time.
Right.
To make things and create things. I could learn any program on YouTube. I could learn how to edit. I could learn how to do special effects. I could learn. It's a semi-awkward story, but I met a kid and he was interested in this and showed him a few things on editing stuff like that. And I asked him, "Hey, well, what are you doing the rest of the night?" And he's like, "Oh, I got a date. I met someone on Tinder."
Please clap.
And I was like, "Is Tinder a dating app now?"
Yeah.
He's like, "No, but you kind of you go on a date now first to make sure
you pay for dinner and
right, And I was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Dude, you got to get your life together,
right?"
Like, you should be home all night, not looking at Tinder. You should be home all night learning a program, learning to edit, learning to do a dope. I mean, if you're already that, demented, well, then steal all the software and learn all these programs. You know what I mean? If you're really going to be rebellious, and break rules, it's like, well, then steal every software, learn everything of that. Instead, you're going to Tinder. Like, if your focus is there, it's like, there's so many out, but he's like, wow, I'd never heard someone say that to me.
Right.
I was like, now go dominate, learn this tonight. I showed you how to edit. Now go kill it. Go.
Right.
We need productive people in this world.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and I think this is one of the funny things I've been noticing as I've been looking for sponsorships for the stream. So I've been looking for because I'm doing this giveaway for the month, so I've been looking for sponsorships from different libertarians. You know how hard it is to find a libertarian business to find one?
To find a libertarian business?
Yes.
I never thought it was a problem.
It's a serious problem. A lot of people are starting to argue that, I want to work for myself, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to do this, I want to do that.
It's the hot thing.
And where are you?
Right.
If I can't look up anarchy, libertarianism, liberty, etc., use the buzzwords, and I can't find you,
okay,
what are you doing? If you're I don't even know if people are starting libertarian businesses. Maybe they're all up in their heads instead of actually trying to make something. But
I don't think about that unless I have a.
But those are personally the kind of people that I want to be doing business,
right,
and to be doing business with,
right.
But
yes,
it's kind of a weird thing.
Well, libertarians though libertarians are. Dramatic pause. Some categories of worldviews and thinking. Eventually, you fall down so many steps.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That the brand and the label seems to work against people. And that you can only talk from personal experience. So it's like a lot of times I start to find people that that want to identify as libertarian.
Right.
I think I still there's a bigger game to play. There is no libertarian God that is looking for your commitment. Right? There's no libertarian deity that is pleased with you.
Right.
When you act in such a way that is libertarian.
Sure.
And yet people act this way.
Right.
When they act that way, it's like they're scoring points. I don't know who they're scoring points with. And if you say I can't even find then that means the only points you're scoring are with a bunch of lowlives that don't even have a job.
Right.
But identify as an anarchist or as a libertarian. It's like, well, okay, great. Well, good luck hanging with those dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean you can't hold to those principles.
Sure.
I'm saying, but once you put the shirt on, you know, like I have a shirt on. Cass, it's a new company I'm hoping to do business with. They gave me some swag. I wore the shirt because I want to do business with them. They're a phenomenal company. They're dominating. I want to work with them. I love what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, it will benefit me.
Sure.
But people sometimes take on an identity, and I always kind of go like, bro, you like that's what you went all in on? Was that?
Sure.
Like, I don't know. At some point you go broke.
Right.
At some point you're broke, and you either become a jerk or you're homeless.
Right.
And it's like, but you've got your identity. Again, I've seen vegans do it. I've seen Christians do it. I've seen a lot. I've seen everyone can fall down so many steps.
Sure.
And get there. I forget why I'm on this rabbit trail, but I think the point is, I'm always thinking much more strategically.
Sure.
Like, I'm thinking strategically. You know, I'm not going to compromise what I do, how I do things, who I am, but I figure out how to get where I need to get to in the work that I'm going to do. You know, as opposed to just saying, "Here's the flag."
Right.
That's me.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, and I think that's another, obviously another issue is tell Austin what he is doing is wrong. What he is doing wrong.
What he should be doing. Okay, well, that's a good question. So what should Austin be doing? Hard to say just yet. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to understand what this is,
right,
and what it is you're actually doing, how you're doing it, how people are responding, you know, and then I usually kind of get a hot take a day or two later.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Look, this whole thing is about money. That's why we have all these little things down here.
Yep.
It all comes down to money.
Exactly.
Right? And so you have to figure out how you're going to get money. And are you going to make money by having goods and services? Right? You get up here, you provide something, they drop you a lemon.
Right.
Okay? That's goods and services.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right now in my life, so the only advice I could give you from a branding standpoint is I believe the future is free. So we have to look at the long road here is because everything is free and everything is going to be free. You give everything away for free.
Right.
And then your value is in your brand and in your reputation.
Sure.
Okay. And at some point, and we've touched on this, at some point, you cash in the value of that brand. What I'm saying is everyone's talking Bitcoin, everyone is talking cryptocurrency, because the point is that at some point the cryptocurrency is going to have a value. Yet everyone agrees that right now the cryptocurrency has zero value. But everyone believes that it's going to have value, okay? I believe do that with your brand. Give everything away for free because we don't know what's going to happen yet. But at the time cryptocurrency becomes valuable, I believe those who have built a brand and a reputation, they are now going to be able to cash in just as much with the cryptocurrency now with their brand and who they are as a person. And maybe that means that now when you go and talk personally in front of people, people pay you $10,000. Right. We don't know how it's going to work out right now, but it's got to be free. You've got to give everything away. Knowledge is super valuable right now. We don't even know what's going to happen when India is fully online, when China fully comes online, when everybody is here, and now these lemons, go to 1 billion in the course of one day. We haven't even reached that level yet.
We're starting to see that now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at, I don't know if you followed any of the PewDiePie stuff on YouTube. He was the number one YouTuber for years. India gets the internet. He gets passed in 7 months.
Well, but did he, or did he put that campaign together not to get passed? I thought he put a campaign to say, I'm still going to be...
Yeah, he put the campaign out so that he could get more people to like him. And he did. He got 30 million people to subscribe to him.
But has India surpassed him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, this is...
They surpassed him. They surpassed him about 2 months ago.
Right.
I mean, they were the first channel to hit 100 million. I mean, they're huge.
And by the way, asking, okay, so, you know, what should Austin be doing? Austin doing it right then. Yeah, Austin is doing it right then because, you know, part of how you start to define value is in what it is you're able to do. So I'm able to sit down here with you, have a conversation, I mean, it's lame, modern, language right now by people who are victims, but I don't feel threatened by you. I feel like you're going to have an open mind. Right. Libertarians, just so I can at least give a shout out to libertarians, I can always have a debate with a libertarian. They never get upset. Right. They never yell. They never get angry. They're always willing to work through, any scenario. So in that sense, that's why I like libertarians.
Well, I mean, you and I you're a capitalist, though. That's really the defining factor of the whole thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I don't even know. And actually, I don't know. If capitalist is still the right word. I don't know. Because I see a lot of capitalists who rip people off. You see crony capitalism. You see that sort of stuff.
Right.
I mean, so that sort of stuff I would rail against.
Absolutely.
Well. But what you're doing, though, the reason why you have the ability to do it is because you're able to sit down and have conversations. I think conversations right now is the currency.
I think you're absolutely
Conversation is the currency. If you can actually, smell semi-decent, and have okay hygiene and sit down in front of a person. Mm-hmm. Your beard's almost getting there. I mean, I want to think about that.
Yeah. That's what my mom's been telling me. But, I guess you're in good
careful.
company.
Yeah, no, you just gotta be careful. I've had the big beard. I think we need to get out of the beard for a while.
Maybe.
Again, I think the beard got co-opted. I think the rainbow got co-opted, and I think beards are getting co-opted right now. So I just think it might be a time to put
Doesn't that make you feel some kind of way, though?
No, but sometimes you just gotta go the other way. That's okay. I mean, it's one thing to sit and dwell, but just get in the other lane. Like, look, if you're trying to like win, you don't sit there and look at the ref and complain. You just get in that next lane and you just keep moving.
Sure.
But I think conversation is the currency right now. Mm-hmm. If you can talk and communicate, not be a jerk, bring things out from people, create an environment where people want to hear ideas, exchange ideas, man, I think that's the currency.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I think we've been seeing it go this direction more and more. I think that's why streaming is becoming popular.
Yep.
I mean, it's free content. You interact with the people that are watching.
Yep.
You're providing value to them because they're interacting with you. You can give them advice. You can give them anything like that. And that's why I think it's going to be TV.
Well, I remember I saw something from you, and there was like a green screen behind. But anyway, you had all these images behind you, and you had something. I remember I don't even know where I saw it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I'm looking at Austin.
Right.
Like I'm looking at Austin. A few months ago, there was no brand.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And the old me would have been like, that's so cheesy.
Right.
It's bad Photoshop, or it's a screen grab, or it's like, it's not high production quality.
Right.
Again, I've had a massive shift. I didn't talk this way 9 months ago.
Right.
Like I had to really look at myself, look at the world and say, where are we going? What's happening?
Right.
And it created all these new categories for me. And now when I see stuff, I go, person's building a brand.
Right.
Person is building a brand.
Right. And that's the thing, especially I feel like now, streamers are just regular people.
Yep.
Like you're not getting a ton of, when you get a guy that actually has like film production under his belt and things like that is really, got the nice camera, they have the lighting, they have all that, and you're like, that's pretty good.
It is, but you know what? But now when I see that, I don't trust it.
Yeah.
When I see, look, authenticity, real life has won, not Kardashian real life. I'm talking about real life, authenticity, what is happening right here. These are the things you trust now. Right. You don't trust the real nice lit room anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't trust it. I see that. I hear I hear great sound from a lapel mic. Right. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
And that's part of understanding the rhetoric of understanding how to communicate to people.
Right.
So film guys want everything great, and the audio levels are going to be at a -6, and we got to make sure we stay here, and that's high quality. In the meantime, dudes are running around. You can't hear half the things. They're posting videos, but you get the story, you get the narrative, you get it all. That is what is winning. People know that is authenticity. That's what people want.
Right. Yeah, I mean, when somebody shows up with their phone at a rally or a protest or something like that, it gets tons of views. It doesn't matter if you did anything.
Right.
You were there.
Right. And so this is all going to funnel through, like, the sort of lame corporate speak, because you got the top of funnel.
Yep.
Top of funnel is how they all talk. You want to get everybody in, and you want to get to the bottom of funnel to get the sale.
Right. Yeah.
But right now we're experiencing top of funnel.
Yep.
It is funneling into something. We just don't know where it's going yet.
Yeah.
But I think you want to be not standing outside of it, looking at the funnel. You want to be in the funnel. Yep. You want to be going through it, and you want to see where you're at in that journey, where people are going, how they're getting there, all that, and then I think you can make decisions, at least from a business standpoint, from a branding standpoint, of what's going to be your lane.
Right. Brooke said authenticity over polished content. He said be focusing on brand building. I feel like the internet is rebuilding the village dynamic. I can be buddies with Austin. He is a neighbor, and I can learn to trust him. And then authenticity over polished content.
Then you're special. You are special.
Yeah,
Austin.
I mean, that's just Nigel.
Oh, okay. Who's Nigel?
He's another guy on the internet.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah.
Hey, Nigel. Hey. Glad you're here. I think.
Yeah.
Do people not like Nigel?
No, Nigel's great.
They love Nigel?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, Nigel. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in, Nigel.
And so, yeah, I mean, we get, yeah, the conversation thing is just crazy, though, because you think about conversations, authenticity, all these things that give people a real significant tie to a brand is the future of creating content. I think, I mean, as we've seen everything become more decentralized, does anybody actually have a relationship with Rachel Maddow from CNN?
No. Yeah, no.
Are her tears real?
Right.
Do we care?
But no one's even watching. That's, again, it's an overstatement. I get it. But I mean, I watched Fox News a year ago.
Yeah.
I don't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I was like, I'm done with Fox News.
Sure.
I just woke up one day and I realized, oh my goodness, dude, I'm getting all my news and my sources and information from everywhere else. Right. I don't turn my TV on anymore.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'm just looking at where I'm going, you know?
Yeah.
Get to the 1 month subscription.
Hey, Cincy, thank you for that, man.
Ooh, I don't know what that means,
Passing
but
out
I like
subbies.
It.
So people can subscribe on the platform for $3, and then they're going to be entered into the PlayStation giveaway at the end of the month.
Maybe I could give away something.
You could.
Like what could I give away to people that would be valuable?
I think you've given away a lot.
How about, okay, all right, I don't know. Like, can I do like a phone call? Can I call somebody and like if they're into filmmaking
Gary
or
V has
like
been doing
branding or content? Like, you know, like maybe I can give away something and like be like, hey, like what do people want? Your soul? Well, what do you need to pay for my soul?
Right.
I mean, you got to offer something up.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
It's got to be big, man. Big money.
Right. Well, it's the internet. I should be giving away my son, right? Isn't that what people do? They find children and they give them away.
Jeez.
Is this the dark web? Is this where we're at?
This is the new dark web.
Is this when Anonymous comes in? Is this it?
Oh, jeez.
I can't top that.
Yeah.
Darren, advice. What is your advice is good? Your advice is good. Thank you.
Yeah.
How do you say it again?
Which one?
Is that Brookster?
Brewster, yep.
Brewster.
He's a really
Thank you,
good.
Brookster. I appreciate that. Thank you.
He does
Silk Road. That's what it was. Silk Road.
Yeah.
I was trying to.
He does fishing streams.
Abort.
Stop. Brewster does fishing. He does fishing streams out in Colorado.
Huge.
I mean, he gets a nice camera in front of him, and the dude goes out and
then that's what I mean by reality. Reality has won.
Yeah.
That's what I want to watch now.
Right.
I don't want to watch Fox News. I want to watch Brewster go out and fish.
I do too.
That's what I'm into. Like I don't like again. That is again. People don't realize that is where we are at, and we're just starting. And could you like I've talked about it before, but I saw a dude who pours like resin on these wood things.
Yeah.
And these videos, it's just like one angle on like an iPhone, and it's resin being poured, and it's like 400,000 views, right? Millions of views,
right?
4 million views. Could you imagine some exec at a network? Hey, you know what show we're gonna greenlight? It's called Resin Pour.
Right.
It's called Resin Pour. There's this great dude. People love it, and millions of people are gonna watch. And immediately, some douchebag execs are gonna raise their hand and be like, "Hold on." But what if we also saw some of their personal life? Maybe the tension he has with his wife or girlfriend. Oh, okay, so we'll build that into a sub-story. Right? And it's like, and in the meantime, Resin Pour guy goes and puts his camera down, records himself pouring resin, and millions of people show up. That's how you know that real life has won.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's the direction we're headed towards. What do you have to say to complainers?
On what subject?
So this will kind of be the last question. We'll close out with this. There have been a lot of people that start their channels. They don't get the They don't get the viewers they want.
Okay.
They don't get the amount of money they want.
Okay.
And then other people start succeeding, and now they're going, what, he's not even that good. How is he doing? He doesn't have good backgrounds. He doesn't have a good camera. He's not doing as well as I am.
Right.
Or I've been here forever, and now people aren't following me anymore, and my channel is dying. What do you say to people like that?
Like about them, or what would I say to them?
Like to them. What would you say to them?
I would say, then this was not meant for you.
Yeah.
I would say this was not meant for you, because if you're going to do something, you have to grind it out.
Mm-hmm.
There's times when I was the hottest music video director on the planet.
Right.
Like, I was the guy. Then I had another phase where I was the guy again.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then people started ripping off they're ripping off my style. Only I can shake the camera.
Right.
Right. It was like, and I remember having some really nice, clarity. Like, oh wait, if you can be ripped off, then it's not that impressive, or it's not that impressive anymore.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
And people would come in, and they were the hot director for a while, and I was scraping by, and why isn't anyone hiring me anymore? And I complained at times, but I never stopped.
Sure. That's a follow. Cover singer, thank you for the follow.
That's like, I just kept going. I had to learn, maybe I can be ripped off. Maybe my style isn't something that's so unique. Maybe I should just stop complaining.
You just did it first.
Yeah, right? I got there first, because I didn't go to college. I had a 4-year head start at that time period, timing, But if someone was really saying, like, I'm going to stop, or they're complaining, I would just say, look, you probably weren't cut out for this. Now, if they said, no, but I think I am cut out for this.
Right.
I'd say, well, okay, look, let's stop complaining, or just have one good friend that maybe you complain to.
Thanks, Obama.
Sure.
Just have
Thanks,
one.
Obama.
I get it. We need to vent sometimes.
Thanks, Obama.
But keep going.
Please clap.
You've got to be. I'm not saying follow your dreams. I'm not saying that you can do anything that you want if you put your mind to it.
Right.
I'm never going to be in Cirque du Soleil.
Right.
No matter how much I put my mind into it, no matter how much I want to follow my heart, I'm never going to be in Cirque du Soleil.
Right.
So, but I'd say just work hard.
Yeah.
Again, I could give real tough love, which is work your butt off, work harder than the person next to you, grind. But a lot of people don't hear that. But the right people hear that, or the right people don't even need to hear that.
Sure.
So to the person that maybe just needs like a legitimate lift and a boost, I would say just do it every day. Mm-hmm. Keep doing it, and start thinking about it. Be thoughtful about what you're doing.
Right.
And just stay at it. If that's that thing that you think that you want to keep doing, which is, and I can tell you 30 years later, as a filmmaker, mm-hmm. I'm rethinking everything, because the last 2 years of my career were the worst.
Yeah.
I had to rethink. Everything. What is going on? Why have I had the worst 2 years of my career? Okay? I had to think about it.
Right.
You've got to put the time in. You've got to be thoughtful, but you cannot stop. If you can't do it every day, it's probably not gonna work out.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. Somebody said, I feel like there's some streamers I follow on DLive that need to be listening to this.
Well, thank you to all the streamers, all the people, all the citizens. I'm going to be new here. Are the citizens?
Yeah, those are they're the subscribers.
I want to say thank you to all the citizens. I'm new to this, so thank you for bringing me into your world and your culture and teaching me everything. I'm trying to learn about all this as well. Again, I got back into social media. I got my Instagram account, Doane Creative Official. That's kind of where I do a lot of my stuff, is Doane Creative Official. And then Facebook is just Darren Doane. I'm trying to get more active there. And so those are the two main places. I've not got back into Twitter yet.
Instagram,
Doane Creative Official. Yeah. Instagram, Doane, Doane, Creative Official. That's where I'm kind of doing my thing. And I try to post at least every day, 2-3 times a day. That's another conversation. But again, I'm doing it every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're putting out some cool stuff. I mean, I've been watching on and off for quite some time. Your podcast.
Yep, of my podcast. Yeah, so
that needs to be dropped.
The Doanecast, go to YouTube or iTunes.
Yeah.
The Doanecast, and yeah, I've just completed my 8th, I think, podcast. Trying to do that at least every other week. It's a lot of work.
Your podcast hurts.
My podcast
it burns, man. It's like a nice scotch. It just goes down.
Okay.
You know, you feel it, and then you're like, that's what I wanted.
You can tell what I'm going through based on every episode.
Yeah.
But the podcast. Again, I try to do it every other week. It's hard, dude. This is crushing me.
Yeah.
Having to do podcast, articulate things, make content. I've never had to work so hard. It's crushing me. It hurts, but man, it's good. Because you know, at the end of the day, I did something. I think most of us want to just say, I woke up today and I completed something, and I'm not a loser. Like, I got something done. And that's what I love about social media, is I have an opportunity now. Well, I should say I have no excuse now not to create something every single day.
Just out of curiosity, for those that are still in the chat, how many of you would watch Darren Doane do a live stream? Cincy would watch.
Thank you, Cincy. If no one else chimes in, I'll just call you, Cincy. I'll just talk to you.
Just call him and he'll watch. Can we get some links? I'm super lazy. I just want to click something. I'll throw up links in the Discord in a little bit, so that everybody can pull those. So if you guys,
it's 100 degrees in here. And this is what I love. It is so hot and sweaty in here.
I'm dying.
But this is like being in a club. This is like I rolled up in the van. I got in the venue. I'm playing a club right now. It's sweaty and it's gross. I mean, your beard is doing things on this side that is just, I don't even know.
It's almost offensive, to be honest.
And this, I had hair like this in 1990.
I'm bringing it back.
It is like, this is a sweaty hot club, but guess what? This is where you meet people. This is where you build a fan base. This is where you build relationships. So it's been awesome to be here, Austin.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Knox, we really got to give a round of applause for Knox.
Come on, dude.
I mean, that dude has just been sitting there hanging out. He doesn't even have a Game Boy or anything over here. He's just been listening.
Nope, because he's going to dominate and he's going to have no excuses.
Yeah, man. Did you take anything from this conversation?
Like, he doesn't mean steal.
Yeah, did you steal anything from this? Did you steal any of my stuff while you were over there?
Yeah.
I didn't get a watch. I found the Switch, put it in my pocket.
And Knox, what do you say to somebody when they say, look, you're just a dumb 8-year-old boy, you don't know anything, there is no absolute truth? What should you say back to that person if they say there is no truth? Do you remember? Is that true?
Is that true?
Yeah, is that true, right?
Got him on the spot.
Exactly.
I love it. Let's not say. So I will be putting everything in the Discord so that you guys can see Darren's stuff. Darren's been super helpful to me, so I'm glad that we got to finally get you on the show.
Well, I mean, it's been amazing for me because I've lost 4 pounds.
I know.
So
I know. Are you
hot?
How do you think I stay so skinny? It's not because my wife doesn't feed me.
Now I know why.
It's because I sit in here.
That's why Austin's 80 pounds.
Yeah,
He does this all day.
80 pounds.
It's basically, it's almost like you have your own workout channel.
Right.
Because you just sit in a sauna.
Exactly.
And
maybe that's the direction I go. That'll be one of my videos. If you guys really want to, lose some weight, I could be a weight loss coach. You want to lose some weight, just stream with no AC. You'll feel it after about an hour. So,
awesome. All right, well, that's it. We're out, citizens.
That's
it.
it.
Say, Knox, say goodbye to everyone.
Bye.
Bye. How do you stop it? How does this stop?
I come over here and I do
goodbye,
this.
Goodbye, citizens.
See you guys.
What if nobody showed up to vote? Nobody gave a damn, left home and left work that day. They just got on with their lives. Hey, they ain't putting up with your lies.